Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Community Talks by Get Involved. I'm Mike G. I run Community Spot, which is where we send you weekly information about Kentish Town every Sunday via WhatsApp. And today I am joined by Caroline Heslop she's the founder of NW Live Arts, and we're going to have a quick chat about what that is. And Caroline, it looks like you're in quite a nice setting today. Where are you?
I'm in a shed at the bottom of my garden, which is my studio and my own workspace.
Okay.
In Kentish Town. And it's, at this time of year, it's really lovely. Really lovely.
So just before, I really want to hear more about NW Live Arts. But before we do that, I just want to ask you what your earliest memory of Kentish Town is.
My earliest memory of Kentish Town was cycling up Patchell Road about 35 years ago when I was going to see a new friend who was lodging in a house in Patchell Road, and I was just really taken with the trees and the atmosphere in the street and the lovely architecture, and I thought, oh, one day I'd really like to live here. That's my earliest memory.
And how would, for people who are watching this or listening to this, how can they get involved in NW Arts Live?
By looking on Facebook or going to any of social media, going to our website. We currently have an online platform of projects. Our current project is called As You See It. We're running each week on Throwback Thursday. We are posting another performance from recordings from our past concerts. For this project, not only are we putting out the performance, but we're asking people to listen to the performance and respond with a picture, a drawing, an emoji, a photograph, even a very short video, if that's what moves you. But this is a beautiful piece by Tunde Yagade called Song of the Waterfall. It features him playing the kora, West African harp lute, which is one of the most beautiful instruments ever created, together with an amazing violinist called Sabina Rakchayeva, who's from Azerbaijan originally, and a phenomenal percussionist called Ant Romero, again from Spain. Tunde lives in Islington. He's not a Kentish Town musician, but he lives close. And this piece, we are asking people to listen to the piece and to respond with an image. And we're going to compile it into a slideshow to make a music video, which we'll release in June. So we're really, really looking, we have, people are posting stuff, which is great, but we're really looking forward to getting more.
And I was reading that you've been a composer for quite a while and then have started up NW Live Arts recently. So could you just give us a little bit of a background about yourself and also the organisation that you've started?
Sure. So I decided that it was now or never when I turned 50, and I'd always wanted to be a composer or to be a more active composer. I always was a composer, but it seemed that it was the right time to go and do a master's in composition. So I went to Trinity Laban. I was lucky enough to get a place to do a master's in composition. And I discovered that the landscape for composers and young composers in particular had changed, and in a very good way. And one of the modules I did on my course was called Curating, and I curated a concert series called Fluidity, reflecting the fluidity of River Thames flowing by and with its sense of past and present. And the concert the place we performed in was the Royal Naval College Chapel, and I brought in very innovative cutting edge performers and composers to do creations and compositions and improvisations around the theme of fluidity, which seemed to inspire, it was a shared inspiration for all of us. And I just thought, this is it, this is what I want to do. And when I finished my degree, when I finished my master's, I started thinking about ways of doing that. So I felt the role of composer curator was one I would like to pursue. In 2016, I did a fundraiser for Safe Passage UK, which was the first concert of the type we now do at NW Live Arts, where we bring together community members and professional artists to put together a programme around a central theme. That one was about isolated children being left in Calais. And it was successful. And then in 2018, I got together with a friend, Nicola Sanderson, who is a writer and actress, and we decided we would do a programme around mental health. And we partnered with mental health charity, the Free Space Project resident at the Kentish Town Health Centre, and we did our first concert. That was November 2018, and it was called Music and Mind, and it set the pattern for what I've gone on to do. So we worked with the Wellbeing Charity to run creative workshops. These were, which Nicola also was leading as a writer. And we were working with anyone who wanted to come on the course or the series of workshops to explore the relationship between music and mind. And for them, it was quite personal, in many cases, about how music had rescued them in different situations. But the fabulous thing was, none of them talked about their difficulties or whatever. They were just fantastically creative. And this endorsed my own sort of driving force, which is a kind of passion for what you can do if you bring communities together to be creative. I also really strongly believe that you can tackle serious issues like homelessness or suicide or really difficult issues more effectively and communicate with a community more effectively if you explore it creatively.
I mean, I saw you had an event towards the end of last year, or was it at the start of this year in the health centre?
We did a series. I got Arts Council funding at the beginning of, in spring 2019, to do a series of 3 concerts in partnership with the Free Space Project at Kentish Town Health Centre. So it has been our main venue up until now, but sadly no longer because of COVID-19.
Just at the end of Bartholomew Road, right? It's
at the end of Bartholomew Road. I mean, it's a fabulous, beautiful, architecturally designed, award-winning building. And Roy McGregor, who is the chair of the board of the Wellbeing Charity, Free Space Project, had always envisioned it being an art space. So the Free Space Charity do a lot of exhibitions, but our partnership was the first time they'd done concerts. Okay. And it was a challenge because we had to get in with all our technicians and all our artists and everything after people had collected their prescriptions at 6:30 to do a concert that starts at 7:45. So it's been very, very challenging. But nonetheless, the space is beautiful, the acoustic is great, and we learned a huge amount from doing our concerts there.
And how many people did you have attending those concerts? Because you mentioned about the community with people coming to the concerts and getting them involved and helping with homelessness and suicide, etc.
Oh, absolutely, totally. All 3 concerts, 2 of which have happened, 1 of which hasn't, of this Arts Council funded series. So the 3 concerts were music and soul, music and body, music and renewal. And in each case, we worked with community participants in a creative workshop at the same time as rehearsing with professional musicians, and the musicians would go into the workshops to collaborate with the community artists. But the community artists always work in a different medium. So the first time it was with music and soul, we were working with soldiers with PTSD, and we did music theatre. So we had a program that had Stravinsky's The Soldier's Tale, it was the 100th anniversary in the first half, and then a new work which was devised by the soldiers with us, with music by me, and also improvisations by some of the musicians, called The Way. And that was exploring what it's like to return home as a soldier, having seen active service, and to have PTSD, and for people not to recognise you, and to find a way forward. We bring together different genres. So in that case, it was music and theatre.
Okay.
And the theatre came from the community. The music came from the professional musicians.
Okay, so you'll mix it up each time you do it?
Each time, yes. Okay. So music and body, we had a cross-genre, a mixture of instruments, music from the Middle East, from Africa, and from Europe, because we were tracing the migrant journey through music. But alongside that, we worked with Freedom from Torture's writing group, Right to Life, led by Kentish Town resident Sheila Heyman. And she worked with them to create pieces of their own writing, which they read in the concert. So we would have a piece of music, then we would have a reading by one of the refugees. That's how we bring the community in currently.
Okay, and how many people were at the last one? You said it sold out.
Each concert we've maximum capacity was 120. We've had 120.
Quite a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And but we an atmosphere in there.
Totally, and we have lighting, and we have a bar, and we transform a doctor's waiting room into a concert hall, but into a community concert hall. And we usually do our concerts in the round.
I really like the fusion between an unusual space and music, or just general arts-based activities happening in there, where, like you said, there were people picking up prescriptions in the medical centre before you got there, and then you set up. And so there's a real, because I used to do, funnily enough, I used to do the same, not as sort of grandiose as you and amazing it sounds as your projects, but we used to find like community DJs and put them in unusual spaces. So we did a party in a bank, in a bakery, and it was sort of early evening, so it was trying to be a bit different from a normal nightclub or something like that, and we kept it very small. So I really get the fusion between an unusual space and the experience of the audience coming in for the first time and thinking, hold on, this is a doctor's waiting room and we're going to have a concert in here.
I read a book when I was doing my composition masters called Spaces Speak, Are You Listening? And I mean, although that was about acoustics, I thought for me the exciting thing is the society, it's the social thing. It's how you can enliven a space or transform it and bring people with you.
And how many people from Kentish Town are involved in the project, in terms of the actors and the musicians, but also the audience members? What does it do for the community of Kentish Town?
Well, I think I see our audience as being there is a core audience from Kentish Town, or has been, and we have followers who subscribe to our newsletters and so on, who are Kentish Town or possibly creeping into Camden Town. And we also have a wider London-wide audience following. But yes, we do have a Kentish Town following, because as I mentioned, we often, when we work with a charity, somebody in the charity is Kentish Town based. that in itself helps to bring, I'm Kentish Town based. Whenever we're doing a performance in Kentish Town, a large proportion of the community will be Kentish Town, or certainly Camden based. Coming to Kentish Town. I mean, I was delighted to get a response via Instagram from a dancer who wrote to me saying, "You're doing performances in Kentish Town. This is wonderful. Can I talk to you?" And we're talking about doing a project in the future, because we don't feel enough is happening. Live performances are not happening enough in Kentish Town of our type, you know, something creative, something certainly not of classical music. And I feel very passionate about bringing classical music and world music more to a wider community.
Well, they probably thought that Kentish Town doesn't have that many concert halls, so I think
it doesn't.
Using a doctor's surgery as a concert hall, so
tragically it doesn't. But I mean, part of our plan, and we've just got Arts Council funding, which is wonderful, for the next 6 months, emergency funding, is to be able to develop community projects with a community in a community space and do a performance there, but then to also take that experience back into an arts venue, and bring the two worlds a bit closer together.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's lots of plans for the future.
Lots of plans for the future.
Just to reiterate as well, I'd list events like yours in Community Spot, which is a WhatsApp service where I send out a message every Sunday, and you can sign up to that, and the people listening to this at communityspot.org. And that's a service for exclusive.
Great, fantastic. I'm really pleased. Thank you so much. I think what you're doing is fabulous. I really like Get Involved Kentish Town. I look forward to following you and see what else happens. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Caroline.